fellow Ambazonians, fellow Southern Cameroonians. Welcome to the No Konitok Zone. This is a special edition of the No Konitok Zone where we want to analyze the speech of the Pharaoh of La République du Cameroon, Mr. Biya. He has said a lot of things and we are coming today head on to take on him and to address the things that he has said. I'm going to give analysis. We have put our analysis on hold because we were waiting for our leaders, the leaders of the revolution, to get us feedback, well-informed and well-advised feedback, so that we know exactly what we are saying when we address you. Once more, you are welcome to the No Konitok Zone. It is an advocacy platform where we advocate for specific policy and specific things to assist the people of the territory of the British Southern Cameroon to attain their full potential as promised by United Nations ordinances and laws of the trusteeship territory, to lead that territory on to independence and nothing other than independence. So ladies and gentlemen, this is a very special edition. We have been slowing down our participation on live show due to other engagement in the revolution, and trust me, we have been doing so hard, working very hard behind the doors to do things that matters for our revolution. So you know our traditional formula. We usually will start with our national anthem. I'm going to play a special song to welcome everybody. Then we are going to go right through to our presentation today, which is the address of Mr. Biya to the people of Ambazonia and his country, La République du Cameroon, 3 years on after the war, or during the war of the independence of Ambazonia. We have a lot of insight to give you. In that speech, he made certain pronunciation and he made certain concession that we were not expecting. La République du Cameroon is suffering. They are going through hard time. I'm going to give you more insight about the diplomatic pressure from Yaoundé, what is coming up from the American State Department as well as other international partners, including the pressure that is coming from the German parliamentarians, the European parliamentarians, their demand that time is over. You remember, it is almost around this time a year ago when the former Secretary of State, Under Secretary of State for African Affairs of the United States of America, told Mr. Biya that within 1 year, if he does not dialogue with the Ambazonian people, Ambazonia's secession will be inevitable. It will be imminent. And I'm here to tell you today that Ambazonian independence or separation from La République du Cameroon is imminent. That is why you see Mr. Biya running out of the road to address Ambazonia, trying to intimidate us and thinking he can intimidate us. Of course, he has tried his best to use agents provocateurs, to use our own people to try to dismantle the structure that is there to set Ambazonia up for liberation. This is an God-ordained struggle. It is a God-ordained battle, and we are going to win it. So I'm seeing a message from a comrade. So please, ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to this No Konitok Zone. We are going to analyze the speech of Mr. Biya, give you detail about diplomatic progress that have been made in line of his speech, and give you more insight into the revolution in line of his speech, give you our position where we stand regarding the threat that we are receiving from Mr. Biya. Somebody saying louder. Is my volume okay? If my volume is okay, somebody should say it's okay. So we are not going to take so long. As you know very well, this is not a platform that we that we follow popularism. If we have just two people, we are going to go ahead with our presentation. We believe we are the most influential platform in the revolution, and our influence is based on our advocacy and our truthfulness, our principle-driven advocacy, not about popularism. And if you are watching us, you have the stomach to watch us, you are among the most smartest people, because this platform have the most smartest people that watch us in Ambazonia. So count yourself amongst the 1% most smartest people in Ambazonia. We are very sorry that we have limited comments because of the attack from the Blue Army and as well as La République du Cameroon. So if you are not a friend of mine on Facebook, you will not be able to comment. We know it also suppresses our viewership, but that is okay. Our most important thing is to be effective, to deliver to the Ambazonian people the knowledge that they need to be well equipped for them to attain their independence and to be effective in what they are doing for us to attain our independence. So ladies and gentlemen, you are all welcome for this edition. We are going to start with our national anthem, From there, we will move straight forward. No, we are going to have a song, as usual, to welcome everybody and greet everybody and encourage everybody to share the link for a more interactive presentation. So, join me for our national anthem. We want to pay special tributes today. Yeah, we have been very, very busy. I think I'm one of those activists who don't care so much about my looks. That is the least of my concern. I'm very confident in my skin. I'm a very proud father, and I have a life of purpose, and looking good and all those things is not really one of my strength. It's not one of the things that I pursue. I'm a very handsome boy. As you know, Lukong, I don't care so much about my looks, and I focus more about my content and my character. That is what is very important. So thank you for that remark anyway. I know some people are interested in those things, but they are really not things that I'm interested at all. I'm not interested in looks at all. I'm not interested in weight. I know this time, people are obsessed with their weight, how fat you are, how small you are. I really care less about all those things. Sometimes I even come online without even combing my hair. Not that because I think my hair doesn't need so much combing. As an African, I can just brush my hair. That will be fine. So you're welcome anyway, dear. So let's start with our national anthem, and then we go straight to my presentation. Hail this land of glory, we the Ambazonians pledge our loyalty. Praises to our Savior who granted us our freedom. Allegiance to the hero who bought this land with their blood. From glory to glory we rise to never to fall. Here in a nation flowing with milk and honey. Glory, glory, glory to the Father for making you a nation, a joy forevermore. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meeting our need. And your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God be the watchman of this nation. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meeting our need. And your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God be the watchman of this nation. Ambazonia, land of freedom. You shall live in eternity. You shall live in freedom and in harmony. And you are blessed, and my friend, my good friend, Eugene, and my former associate. I love you so much. You are a very smart guy and a wonderful diplomat for our nation, Ambazonia. You are welcome to the platform. Everybody is welcome. For those who are in Ground Zero, those who are in the continent of Europe, those who are in Australia, in Northern America, Southern America, in Asia, you are all highly welcome to Lukong's show, the No Konitok Zone, where we speak the truth and nothing but the truth. We advocate for specific things based on principles and honesty for the Ambazonian revolution. So you are all welcome. I have a special song today for you, and we are going to go into the speech of Mr. Biya, and I'm going to give you detail about what is revealed in that speech, the pressure he has in Yaoundé amongst the diplomatic corps. Biko Khan is there. Biko Khan, some people are saying that your profile is my fake Facebook. So ridiculous. I don't use fake profile. So everybody is welcome. It's my time to welcome everybody, all my friends, all my followers, and all those Southern Cameroonians who rely on our advocacy and on this platform for truth and honesty, and all those who are joining for the first time as well. So you are all highly welcome. Let me give you a special song. Okay. So you are welcome. Malaika Lovelina, you are welcome. Jessica Linda, welcome. Eugene Yufoka, Tiko Bikini, you're welcome. So you are welcome to the No Konitok Zone. We pay tribute to General Ibo. General Mba Ivo, we salute you. We know you are washing us down. We shall not blink. Wali on the move, woman of virtue, you are welcome. Edison, you are welcome. You are welcome. Gibbets Kenneth, you are welcome. Biko Khan, and I throw a salute to all our boys, the Amba boys, the freedom fighters, pro-independent fighters in Bengui, Mutengene. You're all welcome. You're welcome. And everybody, you're welcome. Yeah, we have been waiting. So, not surprisingly, but we have been waiting to listen to our colonizer, Mr. Biya. We have listened to him, and here we are today. We are going to give you a report on that. Salimuki, Erika Zara, you are welcome. All man be welcome. I salute all na on Jama woman them. Where they run for bush, we run turn na. I throw na salute for all na Sansan boy them. I throw na salute Bensi Kine them. I throw na salute now na hold that country. Now na hold that country. Now na matter the most. For all people that cut soya, I throw na salute. All busher them, I throw na salute. All Gary boy them. Shalom, my brother. Shalom. Bamsi, I throw a salute. A big I throw a salute for all the IDPs, for all the refugees and all the bush fallers. From Nigeria to Ghana, from Gabon to Benin. You're all welcome to the No Conitalk Zone. Pleasure, you're welcome. All Okada boy waited up for bush. You're all welcome. You're all welcome. So we have a lot to present today to you. Mr. Biya says that bush fallers are the problem and that he's going to hunt us all. Clarence Chia for Dubai, I throw a salute. All people for Emirates, I throw a salute. For Qatar, those for Libya, where they want to swim across water for go to Spain. Those in South Africa, at the camp, Gills, I throw a salute. Yes, you're welcome. You're welcome. In a minute, in a second, few seconds, Lukong Sense Pass King Capo Daniel, the civil liberty activist, is coming to you on the No Conitalk Zone to give you analysis on the Biya speech and to give you insight about our diplomatic progress in our revolution.
People be acting like they know it all when everybody knows that people rise and fall. So rise up again just to stand up tall and wiser and stronger. But no matter how long you read, you cannot learn it all. You can only do your best because you know go feed too hard. If you want to criticize.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you are all welcome. I've given my number there. I'm sorry those people who have been trying to contact me through that number. I never use that mobile phone. It just stays at home. It's quite an old phone. I just keep it at home. It's my very old phone. So you people are welcome. So today, Mr. Biya has given the speech that we waited for almost 2 days, and finally the speech is here. We have heard what our colonizer wants to say. After 3 years of fighting us on the battlefield, he has come out to speak and I'm going to tell you, man, we are more excited, more worked up than before to finish this battle. The diplomacy is working. We are winning fatly, and I'm here to tell you exactly where the struggle is. So stay tuned and stay focused. I have a long in-depth to give you. As usual, this is advocacy, this is not entertainment. So if you are here for me to entertain you and to be worked up, to make you feel interested to listen to me, please go and carry along your duty. This platform is for the most smartest Ambazonian people and people who want to be intellectual and get the substance of what is going on in Ambazonia. We are waking up today, less than 20 hours from Paul Biya's speech. 10 people have been killed by his terrorist forces in Mutengene. 10 people murdered in Mutengene by the forces of La République du Cameroon. 4 of them from one single family. 4 people from one single family killed by La République du Cameroon. Tell me if you are from that family, if you are the brothers, if you are the sister of that family in Mutengene. 4 members of your family killed for no reason other than Paul Biya have declared war on our people. And they are telling you that they are going to start dialogue, that somehow there will be no justice, they are going to compensate us, and we are going to go back and start being in that same system. He's telling us we have to do change in mentality. Mr. Paul Biya asking us we need a change in mentality. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. As you know, I speak, my first language is Pidgin English, so don't worry if I interchange with Pidgin and English. I hope you are, if you're from Ambazonia, you will understand me very well. So I'm going to start by what he says. This is a segment specialized on the speech of Mr. Paul Biya. Our leaders are going to deliver their speech, and they are now going through consultation, getting rightful information from our international partners, our legal teams, to rightfully address our people. Leaders are not activists. Leaders don't need to run to social media to talk, to give response on social media. No, those ones are not leaders at all. They are just fighting to poke nose. Leadership will not come by people being the first to break news, by people being the first to write letters and say that I am this one, I am that one. No, that is not the time. We are in a new era. So you are all welcome to this show. We will start by analyzing that speech of Mr. Paul Biya. And interestingly, I want to tell you first that this is a victory speech for Ambazonia. This is a victory speech for Ambazonia. It is a big concession. Mr. Paul Biya, who does not talk to people, he does not recognize even the opposition. He minimizes everybody. After 3 years, we have brought him to his knees, and he has come in front of the camera and he has called for national dialogue. The same person who banned the consortium, whose minister canceled the negotiation that was going on with the consortium, they abhorred and called Abobala criminals and terrorists and put them behind jail. The same person today have come to you and is asking for national dialogue. National dialogue. He's calling for national dialogue. And do you know what he says? He said national dialogue to fulfill the aspiration of the people of the Northwest and Southwest and the other regions. This is a big concession from Mr. Paul Biya. A national dialogue, he even talks about the aspiration of the people. So Biya is losing, and he's losing big time. He's losing big time. The economy is in shambles. He is unable to have loans from the AMF. We have heard that he applied for loan from the International Bank and it was rejected. That is why the United Nations gave him some money on conditions, on certain conditions. And we have taken away Sonera for him for these 3 years. We have shown him that we can win him on the battlefield. We have taken away Sonera. We have taken away CDC. He's bleeding. He's making less money. Our territory is ungovernable. Ambazonia have become a quagmire, a trap for Mr. Paul Biya. And if he continues this battle, if he continues this war in Ambazonia, Mr. Paul Biya will end up in chains in the ICJ. He will end up in chains like Omar Bashir. He has come out today to warn the diaspora, to warn the activists in the diaspora, to put the blame on the war on us in the diaspora. Today, Tapang Ivor, who was sued by the Salai firm of terrorism charges in America, have been cleared of all terrorism charges. Ayabacho Lucas, who is in Norway, who was being accused of terrorism, the Norway Major newspaper have announced that Ayabacho is a freedom fighter from Norway. He is welcome. As he said rightly, Mr. Paul Biya, that we in the diaspora, we have foreign nationalities and we are fighting for Ambazonia. Yes, we have foreign nationality and we are fighting, and there is nothing you can do about it. Mr. Paul Biya, you have seen your limits. You have seen your limits and you have known that there are things you cannot do. There are people you cannot touch. And even when you touch them, we will multiply. Even when we touch them, we will multiply. So we are not afraid of you. If you think that those threats are going to intimidate us into silence, you are making a joke. We are going to multiply our action on the ground to defend our people against your terrorism, your state-sponsored terrorism. We are going to fight to defend our national and internationally recognized borders of the Republic of Ambazonia. And there is nothing you can do about it. You are losing money. You don't have money in your economy. Right now, people cannot withdraw any money from fixed deposit in La République du Cameroon from above 5 million because their economy is in shambles. And Paul Biya cannot sustain this war for the next 2 years. He cannot sustain this war for the next 2 years. They have stopped paying monies from the United Nations. Cameroon yearly donation to the United Nations have been overhauled. Their loans being paid to China have been stopped. They have stopped servicing their loans. Their interest rate is going high. La République du Cameroon, their economy is in shambles. They are losing the war and they are losing their economy. They have lost all control of Ambazonia. They are losing money in Ambazonia. They brought in troops. They could not even raise money for troops. They are sending troops to the United Nations peacekeeping forces. They are applying, Cameroon government is applying to send troops abroad, to recruit troops and send abroad to look for money to pay soldiers. There is no way for them. They are losing the battle. They have lost the battle of Ambazonia. They are going down. Biya cannot fight us for 2 more years. And he is going down. He will end up as a criminal. Paul Biya will end up with shackles in his legs in the International Court of Justice. He is going down to jail. He is going down to jail. The world have said it. The world have warned him. The Americans have told him, you are committing criminal acts in Ambazonia. You are doing targeted killing of Ambazonian citizens. You are burning down villages, killing women, raping women, using rape as a tool of war to intimidate Ambazonians. And yet today you come and you want to turn the tables around the diaspora. Mr. Paul Biya, you will go to jail in the ICJ for war crimes committed in Ambazonia. And we are not afraid of you. Just like the boys who are carrying guns in Ambazonia, who are willing to die. We are the never again generation. If you think that for one day you will intimidate us, you are going to intimidate us into oblivion. I tell you, Mr. Paul Biya, you have not seen anything yet. I'm going to release a video of what they are preparing. What the Ambazonia Defense Forces have for you, Mr. Paul Biya. You will be surprised. 3 years ago when you declared this war, if we told you that we are going to take away Sonera from you, you will not believe. If we told you we will take Sonera from you, you will not believe. If we told you we will take CDC from you, you will not believe. And trust me, the international community knows there will be no harvesting in Ambazonia. There will be no exporting in Ambazonia. We are taking this struggle from today to the next step. The Dublin Declaration will be now fully implemented. They are now going to stop all people of Ineo, the lights and electricity in Ambazonia. Nobody will pay light and electricity bills anymore. We will not allow anybody who have been licensed from La République du Cameroon to go and work in our neighborhood to collect money for light and water. We will not allow that anymore. We are taking this thing to the next level. And we are going to drain that economy down for Mr. Paul Biya to feel the pinch. Yaoundé is going to continue to suffer from economic sabotage. A lot of sabotage that I cannot even mention. But Mr. Paul Biya, it is coming after you. Your days are numbered. The international communities, you can no longer guarantee them oil. You cannot guarantee them cocoa. You cannot guarantee them coffee from our territories. Your days are numbered. The days of your army in Ambazonia is numbered. The Egyptians we see today in Ambazonia, we will see them no more. You cannot sustain this war for 2 years any longer. And it's about time for you to go to your knees and ask for forgiveness and come to the negotiation table. Let us discuss with our leaders about terms of separation. In the speech of Mr. Paul Biya, he says this war was started by Ambazonia. By secessionists, by separatists, that we started this war. That is what he said. That this war was started by the diaspora. In his speech, that is the first accusation he made. That the war in Ambazonia was started by us in the diaspora. We that we sit here. We that he wrote our names on the papers. That his minister wrote his names on our paper. That these are wanted people. We that they send out arrest warrant to the Interpol that they should arrest these people. These people who are staying in the diaspora. Mr. Biya says that these are the people who are fighting the war, who are starting war in Cameroon. In Cameroon, I will call it Cameroon. Mr. Biya, I want to ask you, who killed Akum Julius? Who killed Akum Julius? Is it the Ambazonians in diaspora? Is it the Ambazonian in diaspora who killed Akum Julius? You killed Akum Julius. You cut the head of Sam Sawyer. You rape our university students in Boya. Where was the diaspora? Where was the diaspora? When your soldiers were in military form, under supervision, went into Minicite from Boya. You went from Minicite to Minicite, remove girls from their university, torture them, humiliate them, turn them over the floor because you think that we don't deserve to protest. When have you done that to your own people? And you say that this war is caused by us who are in the diaspora. That we are the activists, that we caused the war in your country. Where was the diaspora? Remember, when this protest started, was it the diaspora who wrote the letter to you? Was it the diaspora, the common law lawyers? Harmony Bogba wrote a petition to you. Send a copy to you, Mr. President of La République du Cameroun. Send a copy to all the diplomatic corps for you to address the issue of the common law lawyers. Was it the diaspora? Was it the diaspora who told Mr. Harmony Bogba to send that letter to you? They sent the letter not once. They sent it number 2 times. They sent the letter number 3 times. And you stayed quiet. You stayed quiet. And you said that this war is caused by us in the diaspora. No, you caused this war, Mr. Biya. You refused to listen. They went on national TV. They told you that this issue is a strong issue. It is bigger than you. You must listen to what we are saying. We have suffered enough. We refuse to listen to the people of the SCNC. We refuse to identify ourselves as people from Southern Cameroon. We carry your nationality because we want to be humble. We were born into this annexation. We were born into this thing. We accepted that nationality. We sang your national anthem. We applaud for the Lions Indomptables. We supported them. Yet, you refuse to answer the lawyers. You refuse. When they said they will go on for strike, you send your terrorist forces to go and beat them up in hotel. Were they the diasporas? Were the lawyers that were beaten in Boya from the diaspora? Were they from the diaspora or they were from ground zero? You said this war is being caused by the people in the diaspora. Who caused this war? Were the diaspora in the university? Were the diaspora in the law firms when you go around and beat them up? Was it the diaspora in Commercial Avenue addressing the people? No, it was not the diaspora. It wasn't the diaspora. Yes, there have been the history of the revolution. There have been the history of nationalist movement of Southern Cameroons that have been crying and advocating for the plight of the people of Southern Cameroon. But this movement was not started by nationalist people. You cannot refuse your responsibility of where we are. You cannot refuse, you cannot rewrite history. You killed Akum Julius. You killed Akum Julius. Somebody, a baby who was just peeling pineapple, they shot him dead. You send your Turks to go and beat up the lawyers. And you think we will sit down and watch you? You think this is the generation of Godi Dinka, where you arrested a peaceful, loving man? You tortured him until he cannot move anymore. And the people stayed quiet. You thought that it was normal. Kadina Tumi was calling you. You refused to answer the phone call. You thought that we were nothing. John Gu Foncha humbled himself and joined your CPDM movement. You could not even accept him in the Unity Palace because you think that we are Anglo fools. You have maltreated us for so long. You have taken us for granted for so long that you never saw this coming. We are a different generation from that generation. Oh, Mr. Biya, we are a different generation. You are playing with different people. You are playing with a different generation. Not even the people in the diaspora. You are playing with the General Ivor. You are playing with all the generals on the ground, General Efang. These are the people you are playing. You are playing with General Kata. You are playing with Grandpa. You are playing with the Amber boys. You are playing with the Ngokitunja boys. You are playing with the Matrix. You are playing with the generation of General Ngoy. You are playing with a different generation. We are not the generation where you catch our leaders and you torture them and we will stay quiet. It will not happen anymore, Mr. Biya. You said that this strike was started by nationalist movement, by secessionist people who already wanted to divide the country. No. Remember, Ni John Frundi led a protest march with all his senators in Bamenda. Ni John Frundi led a protest march carrying the flag of La République du Cameroon and sang the national anthem of La République du Cameroon during this protest. Was he from the diaspora? Did he have a secessionist agenda? No, he did not have it. Yet you ignored him. Yet you ignored all of them. You ignored the voice of reasoning. They went to Buea. They had a rally in Buea with all the mayors of around the southern zone. They came up to stage. They came up with La République du Cameroon flag. They even want to sing the national anthem. And the people said, no, we don't want to hear this anymore. We don't want to hear this song anymore. Because it is a curse song for us. This, your anthem, is a curse song. They refused your anthem. At that time, where was the diaspora? The parliamentarians and the mayors were there. They were duly elected people. They were duly elected people. Biya says, he says in his speech, marginalization is a secessionist propaganda. That marginalization is a propaganda. Propaganda. We are propaganda of marginalization. Are you going through a mental retardation, Mr. Biya? Everybody in that land have accepted that marginalization of Anglophones are real. Everybody. So you want to go back to the position of Atanganjipo to say that there was no problem of marginalization. That marginalization is propaganda from secessionists. Hey, marginalization, that is a propaganda. You marginalize us and you say it's a propaganda. Mr. Biya, when the Chad Cameroon pipeline project was supposed to pass and come down to Victoria, and Joseph Owona asked that it should be diverted to Kribi so that it should not come to the territory of Southern Cameroon, was that because of we were the same country? What was that for? What was that for? Because they did not want us, in case the law changed in the future and they have to pay revenues to the local council, they don't want the money to touch Anglophones. They don't want the money to touch Anglophones. All the appointments you have been making for the years and years without appointing Anglophones, that was not marginalization. Was that not marginalization? Mr. Biya, we are not complaining about marginalization as propaganda. It is because we are entitled to. We are entitled. Marginalization is a breach of your own constitution of our agreement, of our coming together. When we came together in 1961, the constitution that you gave guaranteed us certain position. It guaranteed us certain protection. Our complaint about marginalization is not like a complaint about all other regions in La République du Cameroon. Our complaint against marginalization is based on the law, is based on the promises that your own government, your own country gave us in the Constitution of 1961. Marginalization is not propaganda. It is real. It is our expectation that even though we did not get into agreement with you, you promise us, your country promised us, and they guarantee us in their constitution certain provision. They guarantee us certain freedom. They guarantee us the protection of our own identity. The Americans have said it. We came into that country, into that union, as a country, as a state, to remain a state. We are complaining about this marginalization because it is based on the law. It is not a propaganda. It is based on failed promises on your own constitution. Marginalization, it is not a propaganda. For you to say it is a propaganda, it is an insult to intelligence. It is an insult to human intelligence. say marginalization is propaganda. The marginalization we are experiencing in La République du Cameroon is not just an issue of secessionists. It's a policy of assimilation. The marginalization is an attempt to wipe out our culture. The marginalization is a francophonization of our educational system. It is a francophonization of our court system. When you make laws in French to impose them on our judges and our lawyers, when Harmony Bogba went to apply to a court case in the Supreme Court and they tell him they cannot receive his files because they are in English, that marginalization is assimilation. It is a breach, it's a genocide. It's a linguistic genocide. It is a cultural genocide. It is an identity genocide. Marginalization is not propaganda, Mr. Biya. Marginalization is your country attempt to make us to become francophones, to wipe our culture off the map. You have been doing so systematically, and you, Mr. Biya, you wrote a letter to Mr. Amadou Ahidjo when he was president to talk about the possibility of assimilating us. Yes, it is a process to assimilate us. It's a process of assimilate us. Marginalization is a wiping of our identity. It's an amalgamation of our territory. You have taken a country. We came to you to join and form a federal republic. You had your independence with your internationally recognized borders as the Republic of Cameroon, with your international borders. You came and joined with us as Federal Republic. You take us around. Today you are called Cameroon, La République du Cameroon. The same name when we join you. How can you come and you dare to tell us that marginalization is propaganda? Where is marginalization? This is amalgamation. Have we not gone back to that your Cameroon that you used to have before we joined you? Where is the Southern Cameroon in that formula? Where is the two stars in that flag? And you say it's propaganda. Marginalization is not propaganda. Marginalization is not propaganda. And you went further. You say you are going to dialogue with who? Biya saying you are going to dialogue. You are raising the question. You are going to dialogue with who? Hey. And he says that the Ambazonia leaders are fighting to be recognized as the voice of the people. We are fighting to represent our people. This is international law. Every people have the right to organize themselves and represent their interests. This is basic international law. You are not talking to foolish people, Mr. Biya. You are not God. The time when people receive your words like it is God is over. Our leaders are not fighting to be leaders. They are leaders. They are leading people. They have the right under international law to create organizations that represent their people. Just like any other people who have created organizations, like the people who formed the ACNC, it was not a registered party. Every other people who have fought for their independence was not a registered party. Where did Nyobe register his party before he represented the Cameroon people when he traveled to the United Nations? Where did he register his party? Was he a registered member? No, he was not a registered member. He was an individual representing the interests of the people of your country. And don't come and tell us that our leaders are fighting and you don't know who to negotiate with. You don't know who to negotiate with. There is a clear line of succession of leadership. How can the president of Cameroon say you don't know who to talk to? You don't know who is leading the revolution when there is a clear line of succession of leadership in the Ambazonia revolution. The person who sent you the letter, the first petition that triggered this revolution, that triggered the crisis, that triggered the war, was Harmony Bogba. He sent that letter to you 3 times. Afterward, the common law lawyers, all the civil society, they came together. They formed the consortium and you get into negotiation with them. So that was the leadership. It transferred from the common law to the consortium. The consortium transferred the leadership from ground zero to the diaspora. When they appointed Mark Barata and Tapang Ivor, it was transferred. There is a clear line of succession. The consortium transferred the leadership abroad. The leadership was transferred its mandate and its power to SCACUF. SCACUF brought together all the nationalist movement and made them constituent members, make them stakeholders, make them leaders and leaders of the revolutionary movements that champions this cause. There is a clear line of succession. There is no way you can reasonably say that there is nobody you can talk to. You cannot say that there is nobody you can talk to. The leadership is the same leadership that call on people to go to ghost town. It's the same leadership. You cannot say you don't know who you want to talk to after you have struggled to create chaos amongst us because you want to choose those you want to talk to. We heard Agbo Bala reasonably have already said that he is going to be on the negotiation table. Agbo Bala have said it, and we knew from the day you released him from prison. You want to say you don't know, you are confused who to negotiate with. There is a clear line of succession. The petition are there. The petition are there. Our leaders who took the mandate and the power from the crisis and the protest movement from the consortium in the diaspora, transfer it to the consortium, to the SCACUF. SCACUF created the governing council and the leadership split, but the leadership remains intact and the leadership remains engaged. The leadership remains intact and it remains engaged. So there is well-defined movements that are having the mandate and the leadership of this revolution. The leadership line is clear, the succession line is clear, the transfer of power and mandate is clear. The declaration of Seseko Ayoktabi is the reason why people are going on ghost town and fighting the war. The leading movement that empowered him, that the leading movement that were the constituent member of that organization that have the mandate and the power constitute the leaders of the revolution. So you cannot say that you don't know who to dialogue. I don't know who to dialogue. So you want to go and choose your own people because you don't know. The international community is not stupid. The petition are there. We are not stupid. The petition are there. You know who to dialogue with. You know who you are fighting with. Don't say you don't know who you are fighting with. You are fighting with Ayabacho Lucas. When it comes to mobilization, you are fighting with Seseko Ayoktabi. It is his declaration we are fighting to install, to effectuate, based on the history of our territory. So you cannot say you don't know who you can negotiate with. That is not cohesive with rational reasoning. So Mr. Biya, you know who you can talk to. You know who you can talk to. You cannot hide behind that excuse. You cannot hide behind that excuse. In his speech, the Pharaoh, he also said that war tactics will not legitimize leaders. That means that because you can fight on the war, you are not going to be a legitimate representative. He's already making the condition for people to negotiate with him. Because he said your war tactics will not legitimize or recognize your leadership. And he's giving a democratic principle that we must go through election. He's speaking now like Bo Heaven. That we need a democratic leadership. Or he wants to mean that the parliamentarians are the leaders now. That you need who voted, who gave the leadership to the late Bobby who just died, Robert Mugabe. Who gave it to Thomas Sankara? Who gave it to the leader of who won who got victory from the Italians in Libya, Mohammed Mota? Who gave it to him? War. When you get into war, fighting is taking responsibility. War, when you go to fight war, you are taking responsibility. When you mobilize people, just like the right of representation, legal representation of the interest of your country, when you take up the responsibility to fight a war, you are defending the interest, and that makes you a stakeholder. The fact that you are fighting to defend the interest for that people on behalf of the people, it makes you a leader. So the argument that he's trying to say that war tactics, fighting war, will not make you a legitimate representation of the people, come on, for goodness sake. That is so stupid. The person punching you is the one you are supposed to make peace with. You cannot run around it. There is no way. You can only negotiate with the people you are fighting with. You cannot go and create your own people to negotiate with. You must negotiate with the people you are fighting with. The people who declared the restoration. You must negotiate with Ayabacho, with Seseko, with all the leaders of SCACUF. Those are the people you are fighting with. You cannot go and create your own people to negotiate with Mr. Biya. That is ridiculous. We are not going to accept it. It's stupid. We will not accept any negotiation that is going to be led by Diangote negotiating together with Agbo Bala. We are going to multiply our weapons. We are going to fight on the ground. And we are going to show you Pepe. We are going to show you paper. We are going to multiply our next. I'm going to release videos of test bombs that are going to be deployed on the ground from the forces that they have sent to me. We are going to multiply our effort. The price you are paying today to hold Ambazonia will double. You have lost the petrol. You have lost all your revenue. You have hold you in your canals right now. You cannot see daylight. Your economy is in shambles. The world is now knowing that you cannot guarantee them the oil. You cannot guarantee them the monte. You cannot guarantee them any other thing from Ambazonia. We are now a contender. We are now in charge of that land. We are the only people who are going to approve. We, the custodian, we, the owners of that territory, we, the sons and daughters of Ambazonia, we are going to constitute our government and authorize the exportation of our product. We are not going to allow you, a foreigner, to come and exploit our territory anymore. No more exploitation. The world gets it. That is why you are talking to us. Because you cannot talk to us. You don't see us as anything. And now it is out of your hand. It is out of your hand. You cannot determine for us what is due to us to determine by our right of self-determination. You cannot determine it. It's out of your hand, Mr. Biya. The relationship is broken. It's beyond repair. The day you kill Akum Julius, the day you kill Akum Julius, there was no turning back. It is in your hand. You caused the division. You caused the war. You declare the war. Biya, you stand accused. You stand guilty of separating that country. It's in your hand. And there is no way we can go back. There is no way we can go back. The relationship is damaged, irreparable. The damage is irreparable. Irreparable. We are not going back. He says that national dialogue. This is the greatest concession Biya has given. He says national dialogue to meet the aspiration of the people of the Northwest and Southwest and the other region. Look the funny way he wants to put it. He is now admitting that our people have aspiration. He said the dialogue is to meet the aspiration of our people, but he wants to put it in the context of their own national dialogue. How can we discuss in a national dialogue when we are in your own nation? La République du Cameroon is your nation. It is your legal name. Cameroon is your legal name when you attained your independence in 1960. In 1960, when you attained your independence, your country is called Cameroon. Now you want to have a national dialogue with Cameroonians in Cameroon. Where is our place? Where do we fit in that national dialogue? Say Vivo and Sam. We have to national dialogue for Vivo and Sam. How can you have a national dialogue with people of other nationals? How can we? We are not that stupid. There is nothing, we are not going to sit down on any national dialogue. It's not going to happen. The national dialogue within La République, within its borders, it's not going to happen. Now, it takes us to the false narrative. The false narrative of La République du Cameroon is that, I'm going to say this one because I have seen that it has penetrated a lot of people, including even some leaders, they are not even aware of it. The whole lie that was conceived by our colonizer, the French, that Cameroon was divided into two. They just go and sit in the Versailles Treaty. I traveled to Versailles in France. I went there to see the documents. Unfortunately, I did not have the time. I will still make the trip again, probably before December, to go to Versailles and really see the document and show it to Ambazonia people. The whole lie, the whole conception, distortion, the whole trap to trap us mentally is the saying that the Cameroon was divided by white people in Versailles. They just sit there and draw a map and divide the country into two. That is lie. Cameroon was never divided into two. The German Cameroon, it was not even Cameroon that belongs to La République. It was the German territory, German colony. It was divided into 5, not 2. Because when they tell you it's divided into 2, it's to give you a deductive thinking that when you think about unity, you always have that psychology that it was 2 countries, they have to come back together. It was 1 country that was divided into 2. That German Cameroon was divided into 5. One of the part went to Chad, one went to Chad, one went to Central African Republic, one went to Gabon, one went to Nigeria, and one went to Congo. They divided it into 5, not into 2. German Cameroon was never divided into 2. It was divided into 5. So if you want to reconstitute the Cameroon, are you going to go and bring part of Gabon, Central Africa? Are you going to go to war? That logic does not it does not work. That's why they have to say it's 2. Cameroon, German Cameroon was divided into 5. It was not just divided on the map as they like it. The territory was fought and won by the British people with troops that they recruited from Ghana, from Sierra Leone. They fought that territory alongside with Southern Cameroonians. There was even a contingency from Bafut who went and fought that war. We fought against the Germans. We won that territory. According to international law and international practice at that time, Cameroon was a spoil of war. It was not divided on the map. They captured that land with the help of our indigenous people who had rejected the forced labor system of the German colonization. We fought for that land. We fought along the British people. We won that land. It was not divided. It was a land that was conquered by us and the British people. The army that came from Ghana, a contingency that came from Sierra Leone, they fought that land and they won it. And we had that land. We draw our map. They had a boundary dispute in Tombe because some British soldiers died there. It was not divided on the map anyhow. It was a land that was fought and won on the battlefield. According to the international practice, that land belongs to the British people and the Southern Cameroonians on that land. It was defined, its border was defined according to international law, rightfully so. It was given the right and the mandate for the United Kingdom to gear us up towards independence. It was not separated par hasard. No, that is a deception. We will not accept. Cameroon was not separated into 2. Cameroon was separated into 5. Have that one in your mind, Ambazonia. Cameroon was divided into 5. We died in that war. We fought that war. There were British people who died. There were Nigerian soldiers who died. There were Sierra Leone soldiers who died in that war to fight against the German. We fought for that territory. It is our land. It is not a land that was divided in Versailles by some people. Mr. Biya, he said marginalization is the foundation to justify the crisis. This gives us an insight to what this man is telling the United Nations, to what he is countering our petition. When we petition the British government, we petition many governments. This gives us the counter documents that La Republic is saying. He says that the marginalization is a foundation to justify this war. That means every time we are writing, we are talking about marginalization, it forms the foundation of the justification. No. From the declaration, from the memorandum that was sent to Mr. Biya by Harmony Bogba as the common law representative, together with the common law lawyers, it was stated there clearly that if this issue is not resolved, we are going to go back to independence. It was written there. It was not something that is being pushed by Ayok Tabi. It's not something that is being pushed by Ayabacho. The foundation of this struggle is not just marginalization. In that document, that petition, it was written there, if you don't give us federation, we are going to go back. We are going to go back to outright independence. It was written there clearly. So he cannot rewrite history. He said that the foundations of the crisis is marginalization. No! The foundation of the war, it was a war. It was declared by you, Mr. Biya. You declared the war. It is not a crisis. You declared that war on Ambazonia. It is not a crisis. It is the basis is the right of self-determination, not marginalization. The basis on why we are fighting now is on Ambazonia. It's not about marginalization. That's why we are not interested in the subjects of regionalism. We are not interested in decentralization. We are not interested in regime change. We have no interest in that. Our people are flying our flag. They are singing our national anthem. They are listening to their leaders because we are asking for independence. The basis of our demand is not about the discrimination we face. The discrimination was a trigger. Our demand is based on the injustice on the British Southern Cameroon territory, which we belong to, which is our heritage. You have laws in La République du Cameroun the High Court law, the Bamenda High Court law, that testify and that have justified our claim to our independence. You have the Abuja High Court law. You have the court cases in Gambia that are legal basis for our case. It's clear we have a legal basis for what we are fighting for. We are not fighting for against marginalization. So even if you solve the problem of marginalization, we are now seeking not just for redress to these symptoms, we are looking for guarantee, we are looking for long-term solution, to have our own solution in our hand, to have our own government in our hand. That is what we are looking for. We want to rule our territory because it is our territory. He talks about marginalization is because of he even justified marginalization. He said marginalization is as a result of multiple problems in Cameroon and little resources. That Cameroon is so poor and they have so many problems. That is why we feel marginalized. He is justifying marginalizing us. Mr. Biya, the issue about marginalization in our basis is not about the normal problems that every poor country in Africa is facing. The appointments you were making to the ministers without appointing Anglophones, on what basis could you not make that appointment to appoint Anglophones? That was not about resources because the personnel are there. How many Anglophones go in for Enam Emia before this crisis? How many of them were going there? On what basis could you not allocate those positions to Anglophones? So there is a difference between a lack of personnel and a lack of resources. If you are already making recruitment, why don't you allocate our own position? Why were you discriminating against us? On what basis? So that is just rubbish. He's talking about he have a mandate, that he was overwhelmingly voted as president. So he have a mandate. Mr. Biya, you were not voted in Ambazonia. There was no election in Ambazonia. The war have said that it was a false election. Even the result of that election is being disputed by Camto. And all your citizens are saying Camto is the president. So what mandate do you have? You don't have a mandate from Ambazonia. Under our claim for our territory, you do not have a mandate. It is not your sovereignty. You don't have mandate to rule over us. You don't have mandate. He actually claims, this Biya, he actually claims that the reshufflement, he has made cabinet reshufflement and appoint an Anglophone since from the 90s. He has always been appointing Anglophones. So we should be happy that he's appointing Anglophones. No, we cannot be happy because on the basis of contract, on the basis of the constitution that you gave us, you imposed on our territory, it actually is guaranteed that we are going to have certain position in the government. The regional balance was not supposed to be between us and 9 different regions in your country. The regional balance was between the 2 states, the Southern Cameroon and La République du Cameroon. So we are not complaining because you are giving 10 there and 1 here. No, it is based on the agreement we had when you decided to impose yourself on us. And if you cannot fulfill that agreement, then you go away with your country, we go our own way. There is no two way about it. And Biya says that there should be change of mentality. Hey, there should be change of mentality. That we should have a change of mentality to accept something that violates rational thinking. How can we accept that our history do not exist when it exists? How can we accept that our country was part of some Cameroon that was divided into 2 when it is a complete lie? German Cameroon was never divided into 2, it was divided into 5. We are not part of your country. How can we have a change of mentality to accept that we are part of country when your country had its independence and we were not part of you? You had your independence alone. So how can we convince ourselves and have a change of mentality? Ambazonian nationality is a reality. It is there to stay. Our anthem is there to stay. Our flag is there to stay. There is nothing like changing of mentality. You have to change your mentality to accept the truth. The American government have said it Herman Cohen, the former Undersecretary for African Affairs in the United States of America, have said that we came into that country as two states. How can you make us to accept something that is a lie to become true? You want us to be mentally unstable? People have tried that and it never worked. People have tried that, it never worked. With the slave, it never worked. We cannot accept irrational accounts to dismiss the legality of our claim. We cannot. And he finished his statement by saying he is launching a war against corruption and all those type of things. We are not fighting for corruption, against corruption. We are fighting for justice. Justice for the Southern Cameroon. There is an injustice. There is an illegal, there is a wrong referendum that destroys our guarantee. It destroys our state. There is an illegal executive actions from you and from Amadou Ahidjo that have undermined our integrity, undermined our sovereignty. We want justice for Southern Cameroon. We don't care about corruption. We want justice. We want justice for Southern Cameroon. So that is my analysis for the speech of Mr Biya. And I want to tell you now, Ambazonia people, in my closing statement, that listen very well. Our recognition as a state is inevitable. Earlier when we started this struggle, I preached about the Haiti solution. We have to burn down all the critical infrastructure that La République du Cameroon is benefiting from our territory. Destroy Sonera. Destroy all the resources that they are stealing from our territory because they are doing so illegally. About the killing of our people. They are killing our people, doing targeted killing. Killing as a political tool is called terrorism. By definition, to kill people, to cause havoc, to go and slaughter people, remove their genitals, humiliate them. He wants to put that on our head. No, even the American ambassador have said that Mr Biya is practicing targeted killing. They are doing scorched-earth policy. Those are against international law. Those are crimes against humanity. Those are crimes against international law. Mr Biya has committed crimes against international law. He is a criminal. By all definition, by all standards, he is a criminal. He has to go to jail. He said that he is going to come after us, the activists who are in the diaspora. Mr. Mr Biya, we are not afraid of you. We are not afraid of you. To tell you the matter of fact, this is a coffin revolution. You see all the Amber boys, all those young boys, they are going and dancing and singing. You think that they are afraid to die? You think that they don't know how to run and go to Nigeria and seek asylum? They go and come back. You think this is a joke? You think this is a joke? No, it's not a joke. It is not a joke. We have taken up arms to defend our sovereignty, to defend our honor, to defend our humanity, and to defend our country. To ask for our independence, to fight for our independence. We know what we are doing. It is well thought out. It's something we have decided. We take time to decide. We have come to the conclusion that the only solution to stop our human rights abuses, the only solution to protect us against annexation, against exploitation, against making us subhuman beings and object of your assimilation is outright independence. It is our right under international law to have access to our right of self-determination. We have made that decision. A declaration have been made by Siseko Ayoktabi. You cannot ignore it, no matter what you do. The population came out when he called them on the 22nd of September and on the 1st of October to declare their allegiance to our flag and to our nationality. This is not a national problem within your territorial boundaries. This is an international problem. There will be no dialogue with the people you are fighting with the people who are fighting for recognition in that country as a national dialogue. We reject the proposition of setting up a national dialogue headed by Dangote, who is himself an Ambazonian. We reject it, and we are sending a message. I am not a leader, definitely, as an activist. I am advocating and sending a message to Agbobala and those people who have accepted to go and sit on that negotiation table. Doing so is treason. Doing so is selling out, is enabling the continual exploitation and the continual assimilation, the continual annexation and colonization of our territory. Doing so is a violation of our fundamental right. No Southern Cameroon during a time of war without a declaration of ceasefire should violate the common interests, the national interests of the people of the British Southern Cameroon territory to go and sit on the negotiation table when you are not even a party to the battle, a party to the fighting. To do so, you will be betraying the boys who are fighting. To go and sit on the negotiation table, you are betraying the leaders who have taken over the mantle to champion the cause, to find a sustainable and lasting solution for the marginalization and second-class citizens and our people being, our territory being exploited without us enjoying the benefit. Anybody who goes and sit on that table of negotiation should understand that they are committing an act of treason against the state of the British Southern Cameroon territory. They should be mindful of that. We are going to wait for our leaders. As we say, activists, we only give information, we only advocate, we assist the leaders, we receive information from them, we consult with them to make sure that those who are listening to me on this platform, you are not just getting things that are coming from myself, but you are getting well thought out policy, well thought out advocacy that have been done in consultation with credible leadership. So I am saying and I am advocating that Enea, or how they call the electricity bill company, the workers who go around and collect meter reading have to stop. There should be no more paying of electricity bill. There should be no more paying of water bill. There should be no more paying on bills to any company that is registered by La République du Cameroon in our territory. Because that money goes to La République du Cameroon to buy weapons to come and terrorize our people. From today, all the administrative offices of the ENEO, of the water, have become a tool of assimilation, a tool of colonialization, a tool of annexation. All of them needs to close their door. No more electricity bill. And we are going to escalate our action to defend our people against state-sponsored terrorism from La République du Cameroon. We have an obligation, we have a duty to do that now. I'm calling on every Ambazonia of goodwill who love the people who are in Ground Zero to come together and support the contender forces, to support the Ambazonia Defense Forces and the coalition forces they have. These are credible forces that have stayed true to you, the Ambazonia people, to defend your pride, your glory, your honor, your land, and your sovereignty. We must fund them now with urgency. If we have any reason to dip deep in our pocket, is the speech of Mr. Biya. His concession, his surrendering and calling for national dialogue, and giving the possibility of amnesty to our leaders who are in jail, is a sign that we are winning him, and we are winning him badly. They don't have any money. He's threatening that he's going to come to the diaspora and arrest us. He cannot. If he has the possibility, he could have done it. He is against international law. The international law is on our side. Legality is on our side. Tapang Ivor have won the case in the United States of America that they want to target him as a terrorist. We are just here giving a voice to those who cannot speak, who are in Ground Zero. The army and the boys who are picking up guns to defend themselves, they are not doing so because they don't know what to say or how to speak, but because of the availability of logistics. That is why we are speaking from the diaspora. This war is not being fought from the diaspora, it is fought on Ground Zero. We are just doing our own part to sustain and protect our people, just like we have always done our own part in the diaspora to support the economy back home. We have a duty to protect our citizens, our family, our villages, our town, our territory from state-sponsored terrorism from La République du Cameroon. All the fake Amber boys they went and brought, the Kai Yannick and all the rest, they have all demonstrated that they are not real boys, Amber boys who are fighting, who have dropped down their weapons, but they are enablers and agents of La République. We saw them trying to use him to justify the killing of Bebe Mata. That just shows that these are not legitimate people. They are all people who have been bribed and all people who are working for La République du Cameroon. We call on all Ambazonia to put their hands together to equip our boys on the ground. We call on all Ambazonian sons and daughters who are on Ground Zero to stop the exploitation of our plantation, to stop all export. Nobody should be selling cocoa, coffee, anything that cross our border into the white man's land. That is the only interest the white people have. Diplomacy is all about interest. We need to send a message to France that there is no timber coming. There is no demonte. If you want to do business with our territory, with our oil, with our coffee, with our timber, with our cocoa, you will have to deal with the legitimate government installed by Ambazonia in Ambazonia. You will have to recognize Ambazonia right of self-determination. Any country in the world who wants to do business, the Mr Biya will not be able to supply you goods from our territory. We will continue the battle. We will continue to intensify. We still call on the people. I say activate the Haiti solution times 10. Haiti solution times 10. Burn down all critical infrastructure until the white man sees that the only thing he gains, his only interest in Ambazonia, is now under our control. Dynamic control. We are in control of what goes out of that territory. Nothing should go out to the white man's land. Nothing should go out to La République du Cameroon. They are starving. They don't have any money. They are bleeding. Mr Biya cannot continue this war for the next 2 years. They are tired. They are worn out. Mr Biya is begging to have fake dialogue, and we have rejected it. Stay tuned and follow our leaders. Dr. Yerima, the Vice President and the Acting Interim President, will be addressing the nation, as well as Dr. Ayabacho Lucas, the revolutionary leader of our revolution. Let's stay strong. We'll hold grass. We'll stand strong like one man. For every Monday, as this lockdown they go throughout this week, we'll stand strong like one man. For hold grass. For stand together. For make sure, say, Ambazonia will be free. The international community don't start here we. The time for them to recognize we and our right for self-determination, it don't come. Mr Biya if he give you only something when he knows if you get more than what you ask him. Now the time that way you go the game. The offer for national dialogue, now because he don't sitting where they for before, now he way the giddy one now. We know what take him. It not be anything what they ask him. Any dialogue must be out of that country, in a new country, with international people that first did it with together with a mandate from the United Nations General Assembly. This dialogue, this speech from Mr. Biya is rejected, is dead on arrival. Now time for we for buy equipment to protect ourselves against state-sponsored terrorism. Put your money fine for the effective force and recommend the contender forces, the coalition forces. Now the best of the best, the most equipped, the most efficient. Stop paying bills to Sonair. Ask all of them now collectively. Ask all the boys the way they work and collect light and water. Say me they no pass again for quarter. We need to stop up. Me no man no pay any money when they go for La Republic. God bless you now. Have a good day. May our revolution be short. May our independence and freedom, democracy, civil liberty in Ambazonia be forevermore. God bless you. Bye.